Okay, would you like to introduce yourself, Nilamji?
No, I'm a housewife, and I am always interested in meditations and healing. I have done
Okay.
Reiki, but
Uh-huh.
yes, but I love this meditation.
Okay, okay. Very good. Okay, so I think it's already 4 minutes past 8. We can start the session, and gradually people can pour in. So we can start the session with a slightly low velocity, and then we can raise the velocity gradually as more people join. So I'm not sure to what extent you remember the previous session I had taken. So just to briefly recap, we were talking about trance state healing and what is trance state, how do one reach the trance state, and if you can reach the trance state, how does it help you to heal and so on. So in that conversation we were discussing, and I was trying to bring the viewpoint that most of spiritual healing that we have, alternative healing therapies that we have, right from Reiki to pranic healing to Sylvia technique to past life regression to uh, any form that we talk about, depends a lot on the state of the mind, because the entire power that a person has is there in the mind. So when we talk about the state of the mind, it could be the conscious mind, could be the subconscious mind, could be the superconscious mind also. So just like we have the capability of healing ourselves, we have the capability of healing others also. And most of these different techniques that are there, it plays with connecting your mind, your subconscious mind, to the superconscious mind. So obviously, the superconscious mind is an amalgamation of a minuscule portion of your mind with the divine forces. And when you're able to align your mind through your crown chakra, right with the divine forces, you are able to catch, or you are able to use the power of the superconscious mind, which obviously you are just a spoon of that in the ocean. But yes, you are part of it, like we call Brahma and all that. So it is something like that. So people who are good healers, who I mean, you can go back to the days of Jesus Christ. We read about so much of miracles by Jesus Christ. Even so many Mahatmas are there. Mahavatar Babaji is there. So many of them are there. Most of these, you know, ascended masters or saints, they have this power of healing others because of their connection with the heavens. Also, this healing power that we're talking about is stored in our subconscious mind. So, for example, nobody can become a healer of a top order in one birth. It is carried forward. The virtues are carried forward. Your karma, previous birth karma, is carried forward. And this is true not only for healing, for many other things. For example, many a times you will see that a child is playing piano, maybe just 6 years old or 8 years old child, playing piano like a elderly person. And it's mesmerizing. You will find kids of 8 years old, 6 years old, sometimes even less. They sing so well, or they paint so well. And many of us, like me, even after 50 years of age, I can't paint. I even went for learning, but still I could not make it. And there are people who never learn and they paint so well. Singers also, as I told you, singers also. Same happens with healing also. So there's always a carry forward of your past karma, and that helps a lot. But nothing is late. The worst case scenario is maybe you are not a healer in the previous birth. Even if you're not, starting that in this birth is not a bad idea at all. All of us should start. And I don't remember whether I mentioned in the previous session, the world is gradually moving away from the toxicity of allopathy, medicine, surgeries, and operations, and all of that. The world is gradually moving towards natural healing. I'm not talking about Ayurveda, which was always there thousands of years ago. I'm talking about the spiritual healing part. Just like you see, the world is moving out of electricity to solar energy, solar power, renewable energy. Similarly, the entire healing, treatment, medicine will eventually move towards spiritual healing. Of course, um, many a times it could be some critical stages of critical diseases which will require surgery at different level. But these days there are quite a few very higher order masters who even offer psychic operations, psychic surgeries. So, with that, let us start the session. I would not really, go very deep today, but I want to just take you through certain slides that I have and take you through the journey just to make you believe that you can, and all of us can. That is the main thing. And if I'm able to make you believe that you can, I think half of the job is over. Rest is your practice and your dedication, and of course, meditation plays a very huge role here. And if you have some kind of a discipline in your life, some kind of a regular practice, it helps a lot. So I'll try to. I have a. Luckily today I am at home, so I can share a PPT with all of you. So can you see? Can you see the PPT?
Yes, sir, we can see. Yes.
Okay. So this is something that I strongly believe. Spirituality is nothing but the convergence of the soul, heart, mind, body. Nothing more than that. And that is what spirituality is. And in other words, when we talk about something like energy alignment exercise, that actually connects all the meridians, all the chakras in a single line. So that's kind of spirituality. A spiritual person will have all his chakras aligned. And of course, unless the soul, heart, mind, body is connected to each other in a very, very rhythmatic form aligned together, we can't claim that we are spiritual. Spirituality, according to me, has nothing to do with religion. Spirituality, according to me, has nothing to do with sitting in front of a god or a goddess and chanting. And then after 5 minutes, when you sit up from, get up from your seat and move out, start thinking ill, start thinking, bad about people, cursing people, finding faults in people. That is not spirituality. It is a practice. Spirituality is also about positive information. Now, what is positive information? It's very interesting. So when we are suppose suffering from a severe headache, there are different ways of taking it, different ways of accepting it. Or when we are going through some stress, some tension, there are different ways of accepting it. What is the negative way of accepting it? Negative way of accepting it is called negative information. The negative way of accepting it, I'll give you an example. For example, you are going through immense mental stress. अरे यार फिर मेरे ऊपर आ गया. What will I do? Why am I always a victim? Why do I always suffer all these things? Look at so and so, look at so and so. They have such a peaceful life, and I go on this thing one after the other. अभी कल ही ये ठीक हुआ, आज फिर again this thing has come up, and that negative thinking. This leads to negative information. And what is positive thinking? Positive information? Positive information is you are getting or you are subjected to a stressful situation or a particular form of physical challenge because some transformation is taking place. Always remember, in one of these slides I have that, but still maybe at this point I can talk about it. There are different kinds of souls, and all of us are at different soul states. Somebody could be a matured soul, somebody could be a baby soul, somebody could be a young soul. So our lessons that we have to learn from life is very, very different. So never compare your miseries with somebody else because you never know what is the soul journey of that person. So when we are, it's just like an exam. Suppose you are learning physics. In class 7, you have physics, and in physics, you are learning Boyle's law. You are learning Charles' law. Even when you are in class 12, 11, 12, there also there is Boyle's law, Charles' law. And when you're doing graduation, even there you will find Boyle's law, Charles' law, Van der Waals equation, all these complex concepts are there. But a problem that you solve in class 8 on Charles' law will not have the, may I request all of you to please mute yourself? If you want to talk, you can just unmute and talk. Yes. So the rigor or the depth of Boyle's law or Charles' law or Van der Waals equation, whatever it is different across classes. The question that you will have, the problem that you will solve in class 8 will be far easier than the problem you solve in class 12 or in graduation. Same is with our lives. Many of us go through very, very tough times. Could be mentally, could be physically, because you are no more a class 8 student. Perhaps you are doing PhD, which means you are a very high order soul. So the lessons that a high order soul has to learn cannot be the same as the lessons to be learned by a young soul or a baby soul. So, to understand this concept of soul journey will itself give you the courage and strength to fight it. If you are going through a lot in your life, especially mental stress, relationship stress, you are not a baby soul. You are an advanced soul. Imagine what Jesus Christ went through. Had he been a baby soul, he wouldn't have gone through all that. And look at his soul state. After everything was over, his only his only voice that came up was he wanted to forgive everybody, because he said they don't know what they were doing. Look at the magnanimity of the soul. No anger, no distress, no frustration, no revenge, only one emotion. That only one emotion is love and forgiveness. Of course, if you talk about souls, people like Jesus Christ, Krishna, Mavtar Babaji, Prophet Muhammad, these are transcendental souls. They have gone through tremendous hardship when they were here in physical form. None of our troubles and problems that we face can be compared with that. That is because they are PhD students and we are class 8, class 10, class 10. So it is important to understand that whatever we go through in our life, of course, it needs healing. But the first and foremost thing is to have to fill your body, mind, and spirit and soul with positive information. A baby soul will not be going through mental stress much because it has just come out of animal instinct. Animal instinct doesn't talk much about emotions. Of course, they have emotions, but the order of emotion that a human being has cannot be compared with an animal. It is much higher. And that is why we are human beings. So many questions we have. So many questions. Why do we take birth? Why do we suffer? Why do we die? Why do we again take birth? Many of us, we believe. Why do we take birth? And if we do bad things, do we really end up in hell? What is karma? Does positive karma impact us? Does negative karma impact us? What is the purpose of our life? Why have we come here in this world? What is our soul journey? What is the purpose of my soul? Does my brain listen to my soul, my mind? So many questions we have. Of course, we cannot answer all questions. But of course, you should know that we have two parts of the brain, the left brain and the right brain. The more you can nurture and develop the right brain, the better for you. The left brain is always there because it is in this world, and this world is full of logical and sequential and rational analytical thinking. So most of us have that by birth. But many times, because of our circumstances, we end up killing, if I may use the word, killing the right brain. Meditation is a very powerful tool to gradually nurture your right brain and make it more effective with positive information, with the right intuitions that you should have. And holistic thinking. In the previous session, if you remember, we were talking about the power of the subconscious mind. I also mentioned about this book, very special book, which actually was a gift to mankind by Joseph Murphy. The name of the book was The Power of the Subconscious Mind. I also have a PDF file of that book. Maybe I can share the PDF file of the book with Alicia sometime and she can circulate it. It's worth reading because that is one of the first kind of books which talks about the power of the subconscious mind and how the subconscious mind can actually heal not only your mental or emotional problems, it can also heal all our physical problems. And it has stories after stories, case studies after case studies, so many of them. So here in this slide, as you see, the power of the mind is like the tip of the iceberg. We actually don't explore it. We actually don't even know what is the power of the mind. And because we don't know, we don't even try to explore it. We don't even try to use it. But meditation, believe me, is such a wonderful tool to tap the huge, infinite potential of the subconscious mind. So, what you see is not what it is. What you see is perhaps less than 1% of what it is. So, as we were talking, there are different forms, and this is something that we discussed earlier also. That we have a conscious level, we have a unconscious level, subconscious level, which comes in between, and of course, the last and the very high level is the superconscious level of the mind, which is when you connect yourself, when you are able to connect yourself with the divine. Which is again, please don't misunderstand me. Many a times we feel that, oh, connecting with the divine is the job of saints and munis and rishis and all of that. That is not true. Each one of us, believe me, each one of us can connect to the divine. It is the power of the subconscious mind. Open your hearts and try to go deep into meditation. You will be able to connect to the divine. I know so many people. I was sharing this in my previous, meeting with you also. I'm I'm aware of so many people who take all important decisions only after connecting to the divine. And they're very vocal about it within their community. They are very vocal about it. They say very often, they will say, oh, let me just connect to the heavens and ask, and then I'll let you know. That is the way they are. Their entire life is guided by the heavens. It may sound really ridiculous or unimaginable for many of you, but I'm telling you the truth. Just yesterday, I was, you know, uh, sorry, let me just pause, share. Just yesterday, I was conducting a PLR with somebody, past life regression, and I there was a time, I'm talking about my life. There was a time when I used to think that I have the power. I used to think that I am offering healing. It is me, I. And I'm so happy to declare and admit to all of you today that that was my arrogance, my ego. I have my master. My master told me that your healing power will increase by 1,000 times if you are able to come out of that ego, that arrogance. Remember, you are not a healer. I am not a healer. I am a channel of healing. So the healing happens through the divine. Divine powers heal, and divine powers uses me as a channel to offer the healing. And that changed my life. So I was talking about yesterday. Yesterday I was offering, I was going for a past life regression, and before I started the past life regression of this person, I just went for an invocation. I prayed to the divine, to the gods, and said that I want to conduct this past life regression of this person who tried with several people earlier, but could never go to past life. So I said, I don't want to speak. You use my mouth to utter each and every word to take this person to her past life and to show what is most important to know for a better future in this life. And you believe me, the script that flowed through my mouth, through my tongue, was totally unplanned. And I did not even use this kind of a script ever earlier, though I have been practicing past life regression since 2008. It was a completely different script. And after I finished a couple of past lives, I took her between lives at the soul state, and she could meet her soulmates at the soul state. She could see the color of the souls, and she was loving, she was dancing, she was enjoying. It was such a wonderful experience for her. It's a different matter that it was post 11 o'clock. I was feeling sleepy, so I could not continue for too long. But such a wonderful experience. And after the PLR was over, I was just thinking that what I was 15 years back and what I am today. The only thing that has changed is humility and submission. So the power of the mind, the power of the subconscious mind lies 80% on the trust, on the belief, on the faith that yes, your subconscious mind has the power to heal you. And what is the technique, mechanism to do that? Just go for a deep meditative state. As I told you, you can start with counting backward. And when you start counting, you have to visualize the numbers and go back. Sometimes I ask my students when they sit in postures with spine straight, I tell them, Imagine you're writing 10 in the cloud. 10, 9, 8. Imagine that it is written in the cloud. And as you come to 1, gradually you will be much relaxed. Another major, component of trance state healing is to keep all your senses active. So that is why when we, go for a past life regression with many people, or even trance state healing for many people, we often take them to a garden, or we take them to a seashore, or a place where they can hear through imagination. They can hear, for example, if they are at the seashore, they'll be able to hear. Imagine that you can hear the waves. Just imagine that the sun is rising. You can feel the heat of the sun. Feel the storm. Feel the wind that is blowing. The beautiful wind that is blowing. You are not wearing any slippers. You should feel the sand on your feet. So see, all the 5 senses are active through imagination. And if we are able to make all the 5 senses active through imagination, the healing power in trance state increases by manifold. So I'll stop here, and I'll I'll open myself for questions.
Sir, namaste.
Yes.
Yeah,
Namaste.
namaste to you, Pranam. Um, your in your lecture, you were saying uh, baby soul, mature soul, and you
Yeah.
say you even said baby soul is like has more of an animal instinct type, not too much of memory and not too much of emotions. Can you elaborate on that? I wasn't too clear on that. Baby soul. What is baby soul?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll
Like,
just elaborate that. Yeah.
okay, just quick question. Like, is it like
I'll do
after
that.
men?
I'll do that right
After,
away.
okay, all right, all right.
I'll do that right away. So can you see my screen? So there are actually 3 categories of souls. Okay. And in the when we run past life regressions, we often ask our whomsoever we are conducting, we ask to imagine the color of the soul. So absolute beginners and infant souls will demonstrate a white light, and then as you move to older souls, master souls, they will demonstrate blue light, and the last and the best form of light is the purple light. So infant soul, if you are comparing an infant soul or a baby soul with a slightly matured soul, what will be the differences? Very interesting. So people who are there in our society, who do not mind cutting the throat of a person, killing people for their own survival, belong to infant soul. For us, killing an ant sometimes is difficult. If the ant is right in front of your book and it is disturbing you, you will blow like this, and the ant will fly away. You won't still kill the ant. And for these kind of people, killing is like nothing, because they have that animal instinct. They have just been promoted from an animal instinct to a human being. So they look exactly like us. They have their families, they have their names, everything is like us. Then they have their, every life is about taking resolutions and improving. Why do we take birth so many times? We take birth because we want to improve our soul state, our soul journey. So we move from one state to a higher and higher and higher, and gradually we come to old soul category. Yesterday, the person whom I was conducting past life regression, she could see herself as a dark yellow light when she was between two lives, which means she was a matured soul. So for us, it is very easy to understand what is your soul state, what is your soul journey, where you belong to. And
Yeah,
then
but
it is learning stage after stage. Yes,
yes, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, but even these animals, some animals are also herbivorous. They are not carnivorous. So, like if they are evolving and coming into human form, and so
yes,
they won't be doing that this type
correct,
of
correct.
barbaric act.
Very good question. Very good question. So those are the people who have immense financial suffering. Okay, so they are not that they are not that aggressive and killing types. So if you are moving from a wildlife to a human state, then you have that killing instinct. If you are not going that route, if you have come from a cow or a monkey or that kind of a thing, then you may not be that level. You may not be killing and doing all that, but you may be put under severe financial distress and things like that, where it is money, money, money. You're starving and then you die, kind of a thing. So if we see a lot of beggars on the streets, a lot of people, even very, very poor farmers, and there's not everybody becomes a killer. So those are again, you know, young souls, baby souls, and so on. So it need not always be killing instinct. That was something I just took as an example to help you understand.
Okay. Like so many monkeys or so many peacocks are in temple area, ISKCON temple. So that means they'll have a better life. I mean, animal kingdom,
Yes,
of
yes,
course, getting into
yes, yes.
human body, and
No,
so
no, 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 no. That is not the point. The point is their learning path is different. So see, we have to understand, we are always, engaged with thinking what is right and what is wrong. And we are always in this judgmental mode. But if you are really connected with the spirit world, what happens up there, you will understand. There's nothing called judgment. There's nothing called what is right, what is wrong, and of course there is nothing called punishment. It is all, everything is learning. Everything in this world, and the even the spirit world, the metaphysical world, it's all about learning. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, if you talk about the animal kingdom, to you, I mean, if you are a human being, if you kill a deer, you will be behind the bars. And if we bring cheetah, and if the cheetah hunts a deer, it is in the top news in the newspaper, and everybody is so happy that the cheetah could do its first hunting of a deer, which means they are gradually getting accustomed to the Indian environment. Am I right?
yeah, yeah.
So please don't enter into judgmental mode. So for the cheetah, it is food, and that is how it survives. You can't tell the cheetah, okay, you have come to India, and this is the land of mostly, vegetarians, and uh, we are mostly, non aggressive and things like that. Here in India, you have to eat only grass. You cannot hunt. No bloodshed, cheetah, only grass. We will offer you all kinds of vegetarian food, very delicious, but you can't have raw meat. You can't do that.
No, I didn't mean that way. I think it got misinterpreted. What I meant to say, those like white peacocks and other peacocks who are in ISKCON temple area, so they have a better, like, I'm sure if they evolve into human form, they'll have a better, not too much stress about money, and like not like a beggar or something.
No,
That's
no,
what I meant to
no,
say.
no, no.
Like you were
Again,
giving
the
me one
point is
example.
you are no, no,
Judgment,
no.
no, no.
Again, you are, I think you are again entering into judgmental mode that the journey of a lion is worse than the journey of a peacock. It is not like that. It is all learning curves, and the moment they are into human form, they have to start from baby soul. Okay. Only thing is that the learning routes or the paths could be different. And obviously, they will not be killers, but they will be subjected to different line of learning. That's the point I was making.
Okay.
So not that they will be promoted directly to young soul and a line will be promoted to a baby soul. Nothing of that.
So this is the sequence we have to go, like baby soul, mature
We
soul,
all, we
superior.
all,
We
and
all have.
we have taken thousands and thousands of births, and we evolve with every birth. And it is many a times, it is also the snake and ladder game. Like, I don't know to what extent you are aware of, but most children till the age of 3 actually can remember their previous births.
Yeah.
Most children. Only after 3, they lose contact. And you must have noticed many a times, even when we were very small, at the age of 2, 3, or 4, always, if you remember, I remember my case, I always had an invisible friend of mine with whom I used to talk. And I used to tell him, "Tu yahan pe baith ja." I will. So many movies have also depicted such things. And when you grow up, people say, "Arey yaar, kya bachpana kar rahe ho tum?" Childish things. So we forget our previous lives max at the age of 3. The moment we start talking, we forget all of that. And a new life starts with a new set of resolutions. So in this life, you have come with certain resolutions, which is kind of a contract that you have signed with your master guide. Now, after you have taken birth, you are exposed to so much of, environmental atrocities that you may not remember why you have come to this world. What is that to achieve for you? For example, if you talk about a terrorist, did a terrorist come to this world? Did the soul imagine or decide to become a terrorist? The answer is no. They wanted to become something much better. But environment sometimes drags you to some things and you become something else. People become thieves, robbers, dacoits, imposters, cheaters, so many things. Rapists. So this is the snake and ladder game because the wrong temptations in this world is huge. That is why the high risk, high return. Why do souls want to take birth? Souls want to take birth because if I am able to follow the right path, my soul journey is very fast. If I take birth, if I don't take birth, it is slower. That itself is a different point of discussion, different layer of discussion. I'm not entering into that now. But we are all here to improve our soul journey, to do better in our life. And we learn from our previous lives and enter into the next life with new resolutions and new things to achieve. People who always had the problem of trusting others, they take birth with a resolution that this birth I will learn how to trust people. And they will be put into situations where people will be cheating them. I generally I'm not put into this kind of a situation because I start any relationship with trust, 100% trust. Yesterday I was going to a certain place in my car, and there was a old man standing on the road, waving his hand for an auto. It was like close to the highway, and there was no auto waiting. I could see from a distance. So I asked my driver to please stop, pick up the person, and drop wherever he's going. It was on my way. So he came, and I was sitting in the front with the driver. So he came and sat behind, and then he got down after 15 minutes. So my driver was saying, "Sir, ऐसा मत कीजिए. आपको पता नहीं है किसका नियत क्या है, क्या लेके जाएगा, क्या करेगा, क्या पता." Well, he is also right. But I thought I will do this. That is the way I am. The trust. So I in my life this time, I don't have any resolutions of trust. I don't face those problems. There are people who face those problems. So every person's life is different, and every person's lessons to be learned are different. Every person's resolutions are different. And if we learn, we move to the higher level. If we don't learn, it is a snake and ladder game going on all the time. Yes. Can we go to the next question?
Yeah, what about, can I say? Hello?
Yeah, you don't need to ask. Please continue.
Okay, what about domestic animals like cats and dogs? Do you think that they rise to the human form faster? I mean, they are closer to human life, so we can sort of give them a boost.
So, of course, even in the animal kingdom, there are animals who go through tremendous hardship, and there are animals who have a much peaceful life. So, that is a journey I have not studied much. I have studied more the human journey part because I have not though I have been practicing past life regression for several years now, but I have not been able to take neither had any interest to take people to their animal life and so on.
Hmm.
But yes, their journey is different, and I cannot really answer your question whether our pets have a fast track towards mankind or not. I can really not answer your question.
Hmm. Okay. How many
I
births
don't
do
want to
you?
misguide you. So
Right.
what I don't know, I'll tell you upfront. I'm not sure.
That's fine. That's fine. How many births does it take to get to a old soul level?
Ah, that's a very interesting question. As I was telling in the previous answer, it's a snake and ladder game.
Hmm.
Okay, so if you are able to, if you are very lucky and you are able to appreciate your potential and the resolutions that you have for this life. Let us assume a hypothetical situation where this is your first life as human being, and in each life you have resolutions, and you are able to meet all your resolutions in every life.
Hmm.
Okay, it should not take more than 8 to 10 births to reach the transcendental soul level.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, but this is close to this is theoretical, huh? Impossible to reach that level.
How about some people who are very good human beings, and they're helping everybody on the path, of life, and they leave their body. I mean, they go away at a young age or a middle age when they possibly don't even want to die, and they die.
Yeah, so death is a very peculiar concept, and death is something more, what do you call it? Uh, the darkness that is associated with death is very high, because there's a lot of scriptures, a lot of um, matter written on death, what happens after death, and so on. And there are very few individuals on earth who are not scared of death. Um, so, as you know, there are different kinds of death. The worst kind of death is when we take our own lives. That's the worst thing to do. There are countries where it is legal that, okay, you have the right to end your life. But if you look at the rules of the spiritual world, it is totally, totally, totally illegal, wrong to take your own life. As I told you, before we take birth, we take certain resolutions, and we have to fulfill those resolutions. And our soul journey for that particular birth is to meet those resolutions. Many a times we take birth not for us, for others, for to uplift the soul of others. That is also there. So it's a complex game. It is not a simple game. Many a times people take birth, a particular birth you have taken only to uplift somebody else's soul. That is also there. In those births, you become teachers, preachers, you preach people, you teach people, and so on. So there are people who die very early, at a very young age. That is because the purpose of their life for that kind of a resolution that they came for has been over. So they leave the world. Okay.
They've hardly lived, they've hardly seen anything. So what will be
Yes,
the
yes, yes. So you never know what is their journey. And at the same time, you must be knowing at least 10 people who are still surviving and doing nothing, right?
Yes.
right? They're suffering, and some
Yes,
people who are
yes.
very good human beings, they suffer a lot physically.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I told
you know,
you. That's what I
they,
told you. It depends on the type of soul.
no,
And
they
many
say,
times,
sorry to cut you, they say that oh, इनको अपना कर्म काटना था जल्दी और जाना था इसलिए इतनी suffering हुई. They must have chosen that resolution before arriving in this universe.
yes.
That
So that is also true, because many a times we at the souls, when I say we, I'm talking about souls, at the soul state, sometimes we impose pain to ourselves. So, for example, if I have reached pain to people in my previous births, this time when I'm taking birth, I take a resolution that I want to go through the pain that I have inflicted in others. In this life, I want to feel that pain. For example, in one of my previous birth, if I have, say, cut people's legs, before this birth, I take a resolution. I have done this nonsense. This birth, I want to go through that pain. And obviously, after the age of 3 or 5, you don't remember that you had taken that resolution. You just go through the pain. Only after you die, at the soul state, you realize, this is why I went through so much of pain. So the best way to handle these things is to take it gracefully, accept it gracefully. The problem is that throughout our life, we don't remember our previous births, what I did earlier, and why am I going through this? And there is always a reason which we are not aware of. So grace is the only thing There are three things, gracefully accepting what you're going through. Give love, give love to the situation also. Admitting that there must be something, I don't know. There must be something, why am I going through it? Whatever be the purpose, divine, please help me to learn my lessons correctly. That should be your prayer. Let me learn the lessons. Okay, I'm going through pain. I understand. But can I learn the lessons? Why am I going through pain? Please teach me the lessons. Please help me learn those lessons. Because only when you are able to learn the lessons right, you move to a higher soul state.
After the stage of old soul, what is the next stage?
The next stage is called transcendental souls. Transcendental souls are very, very rare in mankind. So, like all the saints who are there, who appeared in this universe as human form, like as I was telling, Lord Krishna, or Prophet Muhammad, or Mahavir, or Mahavatar Babaji, or all these saints who were there, Jesus, they
Mhm.
are transcendental souls. They have super powerful, I mean, they have the right to do anything, kind of a thing.
But they have to
Sir?
come. They have to come on Earth again.
Yes, they sometimes choose to come to earth.
Okay, but then like Jesus Christ suffered, was it? I mean, why would he want to have to suffer?
Ah,
Because he's
he did not suffer for himself. He suffered for mankind. He suffered to explain people what suffering is all about.
hmm.
It was all preordained. It was all decided. Huh? It is not that it happened accidentally.
Sir, I've heard this name from you, Mahavatar Baba, which I never heard. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? Because 5, 6
Go
times
to
I heard from you.
go
Please.
to Google. You will find it.
Yeah,
Okay.
go to Google. It's very
Okay.
difficult.
It's all there.
Okay. All right. I just thought maybe you follow
So
or
one
you
of my
know.
friend, his name is Puneet Gupta. He was going to this particular place. I don't want to take names because I'm not allowed to, but he was going to this particular place close to, you know, somewhere close to Ranikhet or somewhere. So he got down in Kathgudam station, and from there he was supposed to take a taxi, which was pre-booked to take to that ashram. So this ashram belonged to a saint. The
Kanchi
saint
Dham.
passed away. Pardon?
Kanchi Dham. Kanchi
Okay.
Dham.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
I've been
right.
there. I've been there.
Yeah,
Okay, I
you're
can
right.
know Mahavatar Baba. Okay.
No, no, that's not Mahavatar Baba. That's different. So in Kenchidham, he
That's
was
Neem Karoli
going
Baba.
there. Pardon?
That is Neem Karoli Baba, Kanchi Dham.
Neem Karoli Baba. Correct, 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 correct. So I did not have to take names. You are already aware of everything.
Yeah.
Good. So he was waiting at Kathgudam station, and he went to the bus stand very close by. He was sitting there, and then while he was sitting there, a person came and sat beside him. An old guy, quite dirty actually, uh, and uh, and he had a you know. Just between the knee and the foot, he had a kind of a boil which got split, and it was looking quite frightful, kind of a thing. So he came and sat there, and then he came and told him, हाँ बेटा, कहाँ जाना है तुमको? तो बोला, मुझे कैंची धाम जाना है। अच्छा, कैंची धाम जाओगे? अच्छा अच्छा। ये तो बस जो अभी आने वाला है, ये तो पूरा पूरा भरा हुआ रहेगा, इस बस में तो नहीं जा पाओगे, तुमको अगला बस लेना पड़ेगा। ओके, आई विल वेट। तो कहाँ से आ रहे हो, दिल्ली से आ रहे हो? तो बोला हाँ मैं तो दिल्ली से आ रहा हूँ। अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, तो तुम्हारा घर दिल्ली में एक जलाशय के बाजू बाजू में है, so water body, your house is beside a water body. So he did not like the conversation at all. He said, what faltu things? I stay in an apartment in Panchil Park. There's no water body anywhere there and all that. So he ignored all of that. But then just because he was sitting idle, he just asked him that, what is your name? What do you do? And things like that. So he said something. And then he said that I'm here, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. And then they had certain other conversation. And then another bus was coming. And before the bus came, this fellow told that अभी bus आ रहा है, ये bus खाली रहेगा, इस bus पे तुम चढ़ सकते हो. The bus was coming and he raised his hand. This fellow, this person raised the hand, and the bus stopped. And they entered the bus. And they went to Kaichidham and all of that. And that part of the story ends there. That night, he went to sleep. And when he went to sleep, before he went to sleep, he heard a lot about Kaichidham. So he was thinking that, Baba, he will be able to see Baba because he has heard so much. And that day when he went to sleep, this old man came to his dream and says, मैं तो तुमको दर्शन दे दिया, तुमने मुझे पहचाना नहीं, और मेरा पैर का वो इंजरी देख के तुमको डर लग रहा था, मैं तुमको तुम्हारा हो जाएगा, ये डर था तुमको। अरे पागल, मैं तो टेस्ट कर रहा था तुमको। So after that, he was like, he was repenting so much that he came and I did not recognize him. So these sort of things happen in all of our lives.
Neem
So I
Karoli
think we
Baba
have to.
was long ago.
Yes, 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 long ago. So he took that human form to come to him and to meet him. And these all things happen, huh? Transcendental souls can take any forms and be even around us sometimes.
I was told that Mahatar Baba is 500-600 year old. I mean, he's still around.
Yes, Mahavtar Baba, even my master has seen Mahavtar Baba also. Of course, in not that old form, in different forms he has seen in several locations. So Mahavtar Baba, many people have seen. I know at least 3 persons who have seen him. Of course, they
What
did not
is the
recognize.
idea? What do you have to do? How does it happen?
Oh, it's your soul journey. I have not seen. I can't tell you. So it's your soul journey. If the time comes, it is they who decide, not we. So that's how it is. Okay, so I think we had a wonderful session. We will hope we will meet again.